As a person with a very deep voice, I'm hired all the time for advertising campaigns. But a deep voice doesn't sell B2B, and advertising on the wrong platform doesn't sell B2B either. That's why if you're a B2B marketer, you should use LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn has the targeting capabilities to help you reach the world's largest professional audience. That's right, over 70 million decision makers all in one place. All the big wigs, then medium wigs, also small wigs who are on the path to becoming big wigs. Okay, that's enough about wigs. LinkedIn ads allows you to focus on getting your B2B message to the right people. So, does that mean you should use ads on LinkedIn instead of hiring me, the man with the deepest voice in the world? Yes, it does. Get started today and see why LinkedIn is the place to be to be. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply.
Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. As always, I'm your host, Seth. Today I have a good buddy of mine, Candace Yaeger, Candace, as I like to call her. She is an executive coach and entrepreneur. She was a therapist at one point. She's done a lot, and she's not old. So she's done a lot. So let's bring her in. Hey, Candace.
I love that introduction. I've done a lot and I'm not old.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
I have.
You've done a lot. So how did this all start? Where did you go to school, all that good stuff? Like, did you always want to be an entrepreneur or that kind of thing? Or like,
no, I did not always want to be an entrepreneur. In fact, I really never wanted to do any kind of business at all. I was a mental health therapist. I went to Arcadia University, which is not far from where your office is, about maybe 35 minutes. Then I went to LaSalle for grad school, and I was on that track. I wanted to have my own practice as a therapist. That was like the closest I would get to being an entrepreneur. So my only interest in business was really to make sure that I would have a successful therapy practice one day. So I accidentally became an entrepreneur. I know, Seth, you've met quite a few people who've become accidental entrepreneurs.
It's almost always accidental.
Yes. Yeah. So my husband and I, when I was a therapist, he had his own company. We started kind of a side hustle together, and it started doing well. And ultimately, I made the decision to jump into that full time because we realized we needed it.
Yeah. What was the side hustle?
Renewable energy company, which is now a utility scale solar company called Green Skyline. That is now his full-time baby, and it is doing quite well.
Good for him. And so then how did you bump into executive coaching?
So when I was exploring or navigating this whole journey, venture chaos that was my first few years in entrepreneurship, I realized that there was a lot I didn't know. I am someone that I do best with formal education. Most entrepreneurs do not need formal education. I am a big believer in that. But I figured, okay, I can go back to school, get my MBA, baptism by fire in an accelerated 1-year program.
Oh, wow. That is baptism by fire.
Yes, it was.
It was crazy. That's a lot. An MBA is a lot when you do it normally.
Yes. And I went to Drexel. They had a program that was 1 year, and you were part of a cohort. My year, there was 22 of us that started, and 18 survived.
That's not bad. It's not a bad return.
But when I was there, I found myself, a lot of the undergrads were coming to me and wanted me to mentor them. And I was like, I can't be a mentor. Like, I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. And I didn't realize that I had a lot of the abilities to mentor just by tapping into my roots as a counselor and a therapist. And
Mhm.
I would just have chats with them, and I wasn't even realizing that I was like mentoring and helping the way that they were looking
Yeah.
for. So then I realized I really missed working with people one on one.
Yeah.
And that's when I hired my own coach. I became a coach. I developed my programs, and it took off from there.
Oh, that's wild. And now so if you can tell, Candace is a Philadelphian. Let's see, she went to Arcadia, she went to LaSalle, she went to Drexel. So pretty much they're all within what 10 miles of each other,
Yes.
like literally. And she also says water, like the way it should be said. Thank you very much. And it's not Italian ice, it's water ice.
Yeah,
Damn it. Everyone else calls it, oh, it's shaved ice. No, it's not. It's water ice. Especially when it's
exactly.
Ritas. Oh, God. Don't get me started on that. We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
B2B marketers, get ready. The world's leading B2B marketing expo is returning to the Los Angeles Convention Center September 20th and 21st. This is the world's leading event for marketing solutions and innovation, and tickets are free. Join thousands of marketing professionals just like you to learn from over 100 industry expert speakers, educational masterclasses, and over 150 exhibitors. Hear keynotes from Amazon Music, Google, Netflix, Twitch, and Uber. It's September 20th and 21st at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Free tickets. Go to bit.ly/MPNB2B to register. That's bit.ly, bit.ly/MPNB2B. The Marketing Podcast Network is a proud partner of the B2B Marketing Expo for 2023. We'll see you in LA.
So anyhow, but now you're an expat down in I feel like expat down in Florida,
Yes.
dealing with the humidity down there. How are things going down there? How's business going on now? Are you all remote now?
Really, it's really interesting because it's a very different way of life down here, which I love and appreciate, but it's taken a while to get used to. Up in the Northeast, we are very fast paced.
Yeah,
We
go,
talk
go,
fast,
go.
we
Yeah.
move fast. We don't have a lot of patience. We expect things to get done very quickly.
Yeah.
But that's also because I think that just our culture in business up north, especially the Northeast, is to be very effective, very efficient. We don't really sit around and play around. Now, whether that's healthy for us or not so sure.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's definitely a healthier way of life down here. I still do have a lot of my clients up in the Philadelphia area and in the Bucks County area.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of technology.
Oh, yeah. So it got us through the pandemic. Seriously, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. So in your mind, what is the best thing about being an entrepreneur?
There's so many amazing things about being an entrepreneur. I think for me, it's being able to do whatever the hell I want. And I mean that in a number of ways, right? Because there's absolutely things like I'm a big proponent of taking care of like the entrepreneur as a person first.
Yeah.
We're our best asset. So if I need a half day Friday, by the way, I am done work in an hour and a half today, and then I'm going
Good
and getting
job.
a massage. So
Good job.
I'm a big proponent that if you're an entrepreneur, then you're able to listen to what you need better and take better care of yourself and do what you want. If you're smart about it and very strategic about it, and you have good people around you helping you notice certain things, then you can be a really, really, really healthy person as an entrepreneur and prevent burnout.
Yes, absolutely.
For me, that's important. I've had severe burnout in past careers. You saw we were talking about this on text or email or something about my TED Talk. I got burnout as a mental health therapist in less than 2 years.
Wow. I could
That's
see
where
that.
I would get all these migraines. I'd be sick all the time. That's why I did the TED Talk I did this year.
I can see that though. I mean, mental health is tough, and I burned out from journalism. Same kind of rigor, and hear horrible stuff, see horrible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a toll, and if you don't take care of yourself during that, you burn out and you get PTSD and all that jazz.
Absolutely.
So on the flip side, what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night?
Yeah. Besides Jake.
Well, I think that for me, in all honesty, and this has been helpful for me when I moved to Florida, I slowed down a bit. So I'm still taking on fun projects, of course. Seth, a few years ago, a group of us went on that whole adventure and we accidentally started a nonprofit. I tend to take on projects. I've been able to slow down more being here and take time to volunteer, take time to do things that I want to do. So that's been really wonderful. But then at the same time, what keeps me up at night is that internal dialogue of, okay, but there's all these projects that I want to do, but is that going to cause me to get burnout? Is that going to distract me from the projects I'm working on now? That kind of, don't all entrepreneurs have that? We're like, oh, look at this shiny thing. Oh no, stay focused.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, shiny object is strong with this one right here.
And we have all these ideas, and if we did them all, we wouldn't be able to ever sleep.
Absolutely. You can see that with me. I have a podcast, I have a newsletter, I have my business, I'm mentoring.
You have like 50 things you're doing.
Oh my God, I'm constantly doing something.
So you have to be careful. If you come up with some brand new idea, you have to be really strategic about, okay, do I jump in head first, which entrepreneurs love to do? Or do I put this off until later? Or do I have to just stay focused and ignore it completely, right?
Absolutely. It's crazy. So what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
Like physically?
It can be anything.
Oh, okay. The first thing that comes to mind, in all honesty, is two things that I carry with me physically. I have a mass card from my brother's funeral and the mass card from my sister-in-law and niece's funerals.
Aww.
And I know that sounds dark and grim, but hear me out. I carry those with me constantly because then anytime I open my purse or I open my bag or whatever it is I'm carrying with me, that's a reminder that life is too short. I think that a lot of the decisions that I've made in my entrepreneurial journey and also just in my personal life, I try to remind myself that like life is too short and we should be doing whatever the heck we want to do.
Absolutely. Kind of a dark side to remind yourself of that, but if it works, sometimes you have to have those jolts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think having, for me at least, that little reminder, especially if like throughout the day I'm like stressing about and I'm like running from one meeting to the next, I open my wallet to go pay for my coffee and I see that, then I'm like, okay, like
take a beat,
take a deep breath. Everything's fine. If I'm 2 minutes late to my next meeting, like, it's
hard when you're high energy.
My career is not going to crumble because I'm 2 minutes late. Like, take a deep breath, relax. Everything's fine.
Love it.
You know I'm the queen of being late, Seth, for everything.
Oh, I'm aware. Yeah. Fashionably late. Fashionably. Always dressed to the nines, always fashionably late. Like literally fashionably late. So Candace, where can people find you online? Where's first off, where's your watering hole? Where do you hang out the most online?
Online, I would say I'm probably mostly on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, I don't really post a lot on Instagram, but I always have a lot of really like interesting conversations going on with people in DMs and on, commenting on their stuff. So I'm on Instagram often. My Instagram handle is my first and last name all together with no spaces, no shapes, nothing like that. So I'm most accessible on there. I love to have conversations on Instagram. Also, if you want to check out my TED Talk where I do talk a bit about burnout and about being more selfish and doing whatever the heck you want to do, that can be found at bit.ly/C Y talk.
Love it.
Or you can just, go to the TED.com website and type in my name and I'll pop up. So that's easy too. I'm on Facebook, same thing. You type in my name. I'm the only one that has my name with my spelling. You can find me on Facebook. Same thing. I'm not big on posting there, but I like to have some really great conversations with interesting people on there.
Yeah, it's fun. And of course, CandaceYaeger.com.
Yes, CandaceYaeger.com, or you can just type in Candace.coach.
That's the one. I was remember there's a slicker one. Candace.coach. I like that one.
Candace.coach, which a lot of times, I mean, when I switched over to Candace.coach, I was so excited. I'm like, that's so easy, especially because Yaeger gets misspelled a lot. A lot of people, Seth, how interesting. You'll appreciate this because you're so in the tech sphere.
Yeah.
So many people didn't realize that was a website. I didn't realize you could have anything other than .com. And I'm like,
Yeah.
my husband has had .solar since.
I have a Doylestown.dog site, .dog for the dog park. So
Exactly.
Exactly.
But yeah, so CandaceYaeger.com or Candace.coach.
So Candace, thanks so much for being on. This is so great. We got to hang out again when we're not recording a podcast. It's been so long.
I know. I am trying to get back to Pennsylvania soon. So I'll keep
we'll have to hang out.
We'll have to have a reunion with our group.
Absolutely. All right, Candace, thanks so much. And we'll see everyone next time. That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Jeff Livingston and Greg Verdino host a great podcast called No Brainer, an AI podcast for marketers. That's useful. Gentlemen, tell us what listeners will get out of the show.
We discuss all the latest developments that are happening in marketing and AI, particularly the news that's impacting us on our day-to-day basis.
And we break it down and we help marketers see through the hype cycle, and we analyze what's happening through the lens of a couple of guys who have been around in the marketing space for a while.
Then we do a no-brainer and a brainer, 2 takeaways for you to walk off and implement in your daily marketing life.
And then we help you make sense of how to implement it by getting practical and helping brands and agencies think about how to implement AI in their organizations to benefit their companies and their customers.
Awesome. And where can people subscribe?
Find us at nobrainerpodcast.com. Of course, you can find us at marketingpodcasts.net and look for No Brainer any place you listen to your podcasts.
You heard him. Go subscribe. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.